Jesus says in Matthew 5 verses 17 to 20, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them but to fulfill them." The law being fulfilled in Jesus, or Jesus fulfilling the law, means to make full, to render perfect, establish, make certain. It does not mean to bring to pass and therefore no longer valid. In the historical context of the New Testament writings, some commandments of God had been set aside for the traditions of the elders. Mark 7 verse 8. The understanding and intent of God's law had become skewed. Jesus stated that he did not come to abolish but to fulfill. Fulfill meaning that he also came to expound upon the law, to bring it to its fullest understanding, to explain how one keeps and lives by the law. He says to learn from him that his yoke is easy in contrast to the traditions of the elders that were an unbearable yoke. Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30, Matthew 23 verses 4 to 5, Acts 15 verse 10. Jesus did not come to just die and resurrect, he also came to call everyone to repentance, turning from sin and to God's law. Sin is transgression of the law, 1 John 3 verse 4. If we read on in Matthew chapter 5, we find Jesus saying, "Therefore whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven," what the scribes and Pharisees were guilty of, and also modern Christianity, "but whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." How does one's righteousness exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees? Jesus goes on to explain in Matthew that it is from a heart's desire to keep God's commandments that one's righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees. Example: do not commit adultery, a physical act. One could refrain from doing so, but if they entertained lustful thinking in their mind and heart, they are just as guilty of it. What Jesus is teaching in Matthew is the fullness of the law. To truly love God is to refrain from even thinking of such sin, from a heart's desire to please God and to do what is right. The scribes and Pharisees' cup was clean on the outside but not on the inside. Matthew 23 verse 25.